Hey, everybody. In this episode, you're going to get a clip from a recent call that I did in my online community, Coaching Christian Agents, totally for free. Go check it out in the show notes if you haven't joined us already. I brought on my personal health and nutrition coach. It has made a significant difference for me. Matt Main's audience of One Fitness. I've lost over 15 pounds. I've got more energy. I'm sleeping better. So many things have been better because I brought on a coach to help make me better with my health and my fitness. It's one area I realized I wasn't stewarding my health very well, and I wanted to get better. So I thought it'd be beneficial to bring him into my community, and I wanted y'all to get a sneak peek of it. If you want the whole episode, make sure you click the link in the show notes to join the school. The whole episode is there, and you'll have the opportunity to connect with Matt with links in the show notes as well. So make sure you go check that out. Always work to steward your body and get healthier and healthier so we can honor the Lord. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Cool. All right. So we are talking about making real estate agents healthy again. Mrha. Wait. Yeah. Right? MRHA? I don't know. Okay, that was a terrible joke. Okay, so Matt's like, why am I here? Most people feel that way after I tell a joke, Matt, but I'm glad that you're here, buddy. Man, dive in. I'm going to have you introduce yourself, but real quick for everybody who's here, for everybody who's going to listen later. So I was trying to figure it out this morning, Matt. I don't even know how I found out about you. But I've had, let me say this, I've had multiple iterations of like health coaches and nutrition coaches, things like that. And quite honestly, none of them have been helpful until I met Matt, and it's been a huge blessing. And specifically, I think what I was drawn to Matt first was he's a brother in Christ. Amen. And you have what, 6 kids?
6.
And so you have a bunch of kids, and we're about to have our 5th. And make sure, Dave, I don't put that in the podcast. Rachel doesn't want everybody to know. I just realized that. So never mind. Just kidding. And then met Matt, and it's just been a totally different experience, right? Like what I've been fortunate with Matt is he's super responsive, number one, and I'm super grateful for that. But also he gets it. Like there's been times where, I remember early on, I had all the kids by myself. It was a weekend, and when you're a guy on kids by yourself, that's really hard. The women, I don't know how y'all do it. My wife, I don't know how she does it. You all have this extra strength that the guys don't have. And so I was really like just stressed out. It's just worn out right there, running me crazy. And I texted Matt through this app that he has, and it was just like, dude, I don't want to track tonight. Like I just want to eat. Like I just want to enjoy myself. And he said, do it and then get back on it tomorrow. Right. And that was helpful because every other time I've talked to anybody or whatever, I've always felt like, well, if I don't stay on it, then it's failure. And, we've talked about this before with business, whatever. My personality is if I get a flat tire, then it's like I total the car, right? Well, I had a bad meal, so I'll just eat whatever I want the rest of the day and I'll get back on it. And that's just not true. And so even someone who understands that and can help me through that and process has been really helpful. I've lost 15 pounds. I have way more energy and mental clarity than I've ever had before. And so much has just been this journey, and I've gotten a lot stronger. Dave can testify to that. No, that's weird. I'm just kidding. But it's been a blessing. It really has. And, one of the things for me, and then I'll let Matt introduce himself, but one of the things for me is I've just realized that it's my responsibility to show up as well as I can for my family first, and then to my business. And I can't do that unless I'm as healthy as I can be. And so, I've just felt that conviction and wanting to be more intentional. So super glad, Matt, that you're here, brother, to share some things with us, man. So just give us a background on you and your health journey and how you got to where you are, man. Then we'll dive into some questions.
Absolutely. So cut me off if I get going because, I'm a talker guy, so much like most of you folks. So I have a really cool story. Like we'll start current day. I have 6 beautiful, amazing kids. I am highly blessed. I have a godly wife. I grew up as a PK. I was a preacher's kid. So, I've always been in the faith, got saved early on in my life. And, as we all do, we have milestones, right? We rededicate and we rebalance, we kind of baseline of where we are. And for me, fitness has always been that great kind of happy space for me. It's helped me to manage a lot of things in life. From anxiety to stress to just, life in general, right? There's a lot of value in the physical side. But what really got me going in the fitness space, I started about 20 years ago, got my exercise science degree, and always really loved exercise as a young kid. My dad was an exerciser. He liked to lift weights, things along those lines. So I had the foundation. I had the model of what it looked like. So that helped a lot. But really kind of fast forward, started my first personal training company when I was in my 20s. I did that for a couple of years, moved into more of the online coaching over the last 2 decades. And helped start a couple of companies. This is my second online business for coaching. For those of you that don't know what that really means, basically think of it as a personal trainer in your back pocket wherever you go. So as long as you've got it your device, you can communicate with me through the app. You can jump on a Zoom call. I'm there. But really kind of the overall about who I am. First and foremost, I'm a godly man. My goal with my newest company was taking what the industry was doing for the physical and aligning it with the spiritual. That's really going to be key in all aspects of business. In your line of business, right? Think about that for a second. The way that you carry yourself from a spiritual perspective, that's kind of the root of it, right? How you treat people, how you love on people, how you are trusted, how you do the right thing, even when it's the hard thing. That is going to be really important in your business and your relationship. So I kind of took the coaching mentality of how do we make fitness or physical and spiritual align, and not just elevate folks, but help them to kind of mold both of those together and build disciplines and habits that really benefit both sides, physical and spiritual. So with that being said, my online coaching business is really focused on strengthen a father, impact the family, change a community. And really, that is my main goal. My mission is not to help you just get in the best shape of your life so you can go to the beach and, show off your beautiful bodies to everyone, right? That's not the goal. The goal is ultimately to get you in the best shape of your life so you can do the things that you need to do the hard things, minister to those when you're tired, right? When you're physically fit, you have a little more in the gas tank. Let's be honest. That's really kind of my mindset around what I do as a coach. Yes, we will get into nutrition. Yes, we'll get into the workout aspect, but being able to understand what comes with that linchpin of fitness is really kind of the game changer for most of my clients. And that's really where I spend my time, is around mindset, right? Focusing in on understanding that every single person's a little bit different. Their lifestyle is a little bit different. So when you try to take a coaching system and make your lifestyle fit into that coaching system, you're set up for failure. Let's be really honest. If Garrett came to you and said, hey, this is what I need you to do to make your real estate business get from here to here, but it fit your lifestyle 0% of the time, how likely are you going to do it? All right, well, maybe you'll do it for a little while. Maybe you'll follow the program. Maybe it works, but it just doesn't fit your lifestyle. That's the same thing with fitness and nutrition. You've got a lot of programs out there. They work. Yo-yo diets work. All these different things that work, but you really have to focus in on fitting individual business goals, all your lifestyle kind of choices into what you're currently doing, right? Garrett has, he's busy. He's got a lot of companies, things going on. He's got, a family. He needs his program to fit his lifestyle. So that's really what I focus on. And that's kind of really where I'm at. I've seen it all, Garrett. It's one of those things where you will see every single fad. You probably get contacted every single day through ads. I've got the next best program, the next best diet. Well, the reality is there's a lot of simple things that we can do. And we'll talk a little bit about those as we go through some of the questions that Garrett has. But that's kind of it in a nutshell, Garrett.
That's great, man. No, and I agree. One of the biggest shifts for me has been my physical health as a reflection of my mental perception and mental strength around my health, right? Like, I've worked out for a long time and, wasn't really making significant progress. I mean, I was working out 3-4 times a week and I didn't eat terrible. Like, we've gotten rid of seed oils and done a lot of things, but there was still, like, I just wasn't making progress. I was actually getting larger and I didn't really understand why. And it wasn't until really trying to start to understand how this works. And again, Matt being super understanding of This is what I need. Or like, it was my birthday on Sunday, right? Which none of you sent me a gift. And that is so rude. But that's okay. There's still time. I'll send you all my address. Actually, Andy actually said happy birthday. Dave, you said happy birthday, but I'm your business partner. You should have bought me a car. So anyways, but the reality is, it's like what my body, it looks like and feels like, is such a reflection of what I think about and believe around food and fitness and those things. And we've talked a lot about excellence, right, in work. And I've just come to realize that if I want to be excellent in the work that I do, I have to be able to show up mentally clear to the best of my ability, right? And physically have the energy that I need. And that genuinely has been the biggest difference. I mean, honestly, for me, and then we'll dive into some of these questions, and anybody can ask a question at any point too. But one of the biggest shifts for me has been, normally, like, I would work all day. I'd get up, I'd work out, I'd work all day. I'd come downstairs, I'd take over basically to help my wife get a break. We'd have the kids, we'd put them to bed, all those things, right? Then 8 o'clock comes and I'd come back downstairs, and my wife and I have an hour left before bed. And I'd be so exhausted, and so would she, and be like, why don't we just sit there and watch a show? Right. And like, I don't want that to be our life, and neither does she. I've felt the difference now is I come downstairs and I still have energy, and I haven't had that in a long time, quite honestly, to say like, let's play a game, let's read a book. Why don't we talk? Why don't we do this? And, you know, it is affecting all of those other things. Like Matt said, I never said I want to show up and be totally shredded. Right. I don't think I ever will be. Maybe. Sorry, Matt. But that's not on you. That's on me, brother. But the bottom line is, I just want to show up well for people. And this is a huge piece of responsibility that I've kind of let go, and we all need to take it back. Right. And so I think that's super important. So Matt, let's
piggyback on that real quick, Garrett. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think what people don't realize is that fitness nutrition is just the linchpin to all of those things. It is a very simple place where you can build disciplines in your life, where you then can let that kind of overflow into all the other things that you do as a parent, as a business person, someone in your community, maybe someone that is working with the church. You have the energy, the discipline, the drive to do those things, and you show up more confident in your own skin. Right?
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Why does it matter? Let's take a big macro view. Why does it matter that we are healthy, in relation to the Lord? Like, why does the Lord care if we take care of our body?
Absolutely. Well, I think what the easiest thing to do is to go directly to the Bible. The verse you're going to find on my site that I live by is 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. And it says, do you not know that your bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. Remember, you're not your own any longer. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. Right. So that's pretty broad. That's macro level, but that's a very clear directive of how we should live. Now, once again, the way we take care of our bodies, the way that we look, the way that Garrett looks compared to the way I look, does not dictate whether or not we're following that verse. It has to do with the mindset and the actual aspirations of addressing this. None of us are going to be perfect. Only Jesus was. But to aspire to drive for perfection in those areas, it's very clearly directive in the Bible. Another one that's really big for me is 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says, for the spirit that God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Key word being self-discipline. Everything in life is self-discipline, right? A lot of the things that we talk about with the guys that I coach are around decisions, non-negotiables, being disciplined with our habits and things that we do. We have choices every single day, right? We have thousands upon thousands of choices. Not all of them have a bad or the wrong choice and a good choice or the right choice, but many of them do. Some of them are just better choices. And we just need to do better at making those decisions. Once again, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be 100%, but I have what I call an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, if you can do the right thing, you will be in much better overall spiritual and physical shape in life. So.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, and everything is discipline, right? Like it's interesting to me because I've seen as I've been doing this journey with you for the past few months, feeling more disciplined about food. And it takes time, right? I think one of the challenges is I always got discouraged because why haven't I lost 10 pounds? I ate a salad. Like I should have lost 10 pounds. It doesn't make sense. And you get discouraged by that. But it's this intentional progress over time, but learning those disciplines, right? For me, it's after Bible study, when someone brings cake, just don't have any. Or if you do, have a little bit, right? Like if I have a big piece or a little piece, I'm still going to want more. So maybe have a little bit, maybe try it. And it's just practicing and learning those disciplines, but it's made me more disciplined. And I get up now earlier, right? And I'm more consistent in having my quiet time and doing it outside and getting outside in the sun. So my body gets started, and then doing the workouts, and then tracking my food, right? And more disciplined even in spending intentional time with my wife. Like discipline in your business, discipline carries over everywhere. If you find someone disciplined in something, they're probably disciplined in everything. And so that's been huge. I agree with you, like just practicing that discipline. And for me, what has always been the hardest place to have discipline is with food, right? I mean, that's the main thing. That's the hardest part. I don't mind working out, but food is the hard part. Because donuts are amazing. So what are some common challenges people face when trying to get healthy, do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think the first one is too many excuses, right? How many times do we talk ourselves out of, man, I'm just too tired to go to the gym, or, hey, I don't have time. I've got all these other things that I'm doing. Not that those things aren't important, but we make excuses. I'm a big believer in we make time for what we want to make time for. How many people agree with that, right? We do what we want to do, right? Yeah. I mean, we're all in the same boat. None of us are different when it comes to that, right? So making excuses is kind of that biggest thing. Like, I don't have enough time, or I don't have money for a coach or a gym, or, well, you do. You just have to rebudget. You have to be purposeful with your decision making, right? Okay. Hey, can I save some money on Starbucks the next 3 months and hire a coach? Sure, you probably could, right? It's the little things that if you really want it, you'll do it. Right? That's the key. I would say the second thing that I notice most is that people just don't know where to start, right? There are so much information out on the interwebs, right? You look up, just right now, go into Google and type in best workout program. You'll have 10,000, 50,000 hits, and you'll have no idea. Now, are they great? Most of them probably are good, because you're doing something better that's better than nothing, right? But that's really going to be the big ones. Where to start? What do I do? How do I make the time that I have, right? And I'm talking minimal time. For me personally, I would say I probably put 3, maybe 4 hours into working out out of a whole week. Now, not including my steps. I do walk quite a bit, but really it's minimal. So what do I do to get started immediately? What is the easiest thing? And we'll talk a little more about that in a later question, but that's really going to be the big one. Where do I start? What do I do? Right. And people get discouraged by that and quit before they even start. Okay. And then the last one that I see is that when you don't see immediate results, right? How many here have tried something, possibly started something super aggressive, and within a week, you're like, I'm starving myself and nothing's happening. Why? Well, the real thing that we have to understand with that is sustainability over an entire journey. When I talk about an entire journey, until the Lord takes us home, right? So from today till the end of life, that's your journey. It's not just a single destination. It's many destinations or milestones during a journey. So understanding that results, at least quick, easy ones, are not the ones that will be sustainable, that are well worth it. The hard thing is what you really want to do, the long-term sustainable thing. So those are the 3 kind of main things I would say that really hold people back, that are the biggest challenges.
Yeah, I think that's good. And, as an encouragement, like, you might not like going to the gym initially, and that's okay. Maybe you don't need to, but like, you do eat every day. And, you know better than me, Matt, but nutrition is the main culprit for everything. Obviously, more muscle mass you have, the more you're burning, your metabolism's better, right? So all of that matters, but it's really about what you eat. And if you're eating every day, and like you said, I saw something the other day, and it said, what did it say? It said, if you're aware of something that needs to change and you know how to change it, and then you don't, you're choosing that thing. Right. Like we tend to not think of it that way. Right. Like if I know that I need to, well, in this context, get in shape and lose weight. Right. And get healthier. And I know that I can, or I know that I can figure it out, or I know where to go figure that out, go to Matt or whatever it is. And then I don't do it, I'm choosing to stay right where I am, right? It is a choice. Everything's a choice. When you're eating every day, you're choosing, me too, right? To say, I'm going to be intentional and this is going to affect how I feel and how I show up for people. And it's fuel, or I'm going to go and just eat whatever I want. What's that? It was my birthday and my wife's birthday 3 days apart. I had cake. And actually somebody said, hey, I should take a picture and send it to Matt and see what he says. And I was like, I think he'd say it's cool because sometimes you got to celebrate, right? You got to live in the world too. And it's okay. But, we're making choice all the time. And if we're not changing it, we're choosing it. And that was really powerful for me for everything as we think about that. So how do we overcome the challenges, right? The frustration of not knowing where to start, or the discouragement, it's not happening or quick enough. Like, how do we even overcome challenges like that?
Sure. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I'm a big fan of keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method. I've always used the KISS method, from just life decisions to business decisions to just decisions in general, because I think we too often overcomplicate things. And as many of you all know, you build a list of all the things you got to do today. You still got to start with one of them, right? So start simple is going to be the number one, right? Start simple as it pertains to maybe just tracking your food. I wouldn't go completely overboard and say, okay, I'm going to download this nutrition plan and I'm going to eat it to a T. Oh, that's probably overly complicated. You're probably going to give up quickly and you're going to be like, all right, I tried. Simple. Track your food. What do you eat today? What are you actually putting into your body today? Right? That way, guys like me who coach clients, I can see that and say, okay, hey, we're not too far off. There may be some encouragement there. We will be able to then figure out, okay, what's your BMR? What's your basal metabolic rate? What do we all on this call burn on a normal day? Most likely in a sedentary lifestyle for a majority of it, right? So understanding what your BMR is. Most folks on this call are probably between 1,500 and 2,200 calories a day, where you just need it to be able to function, right? Function mentally. You've got to be able to, get up, take a shower, do all the different things you have to do. So where are we at there versus our intake for food? So simply tracking food is big. So for those of you who don't track your food, never have done it, MyFitnessPal has a great app. It's free. I wouldn't go with premium. Just go with a free program. It's called MyFitnessPal. My application that I leverage uses that. It's the biggest database of food in the world. Very simple to use. Is it tedious? Absolutely. Is it simple? Yes. Track your food. Track it for a week. See where you're at, because that is going to really help you understand what are you putting into your body. Now, you may not understand, okay, I need this many calories to be in a deficit versus a maintenance or a surplus. Maybe I don't understand how much protein I need, but the reality is understanding what you're putting in your body is going to be your first step, right? Mm-hmm. So that is going to be the biggest factor across all of this. I think that, Garrett, you said, nutrition is the biggest part. I've always said that's about 90 to 95% of it, right? Mm-hmm. I thought I saw a quick comment, you can't outwork a bad diet. That's 100% correct. I have seen it 1,000 times. I've had plenty of clients over the years that have come to me and have literally said, I work out every single day. That's wonderful. What are you eating? No idea. That's going to be a major factor, right? And going back to eating in general, keep it simple, right? If you can't enjoy your lifestyle, are you going to continue to do it? Absolutely not. No. I said every single time that Garrett wanted to go on vacation or have a piece of birthday cake or pizza Fridays, I'd say, don't do that. It's not going to happen. He's not going to continue to sustain a lifestyle, right? I always brag and kind of joke about Friday nights are always going to be pizza and cookie nights in my house. I have 6 kids between the ages of 14 and 5, and they love pizza and cookie night. It's time with mom and dad. We usually watch a movie. Do I want to do that, or I want to be over here eating broccoli, chicken, and rice? Well, you don't have to do that anymore. That's not the reality. Now, at the end of the day, am I eating pizza and cookies every night? No. It's that 80-20 rule. So really understanding what you're putting in your body allows you the flexibility to enjoy your lifestyle and to eat a little piece of cake, or better yet, hey, I factored in a large piece of cake for today, so I'm going to eat a whole piece of cake, right? But if you don't know what you're putting in your body, you won't be able to do that. You won't be able to kind of give and take. I'd say that the second one that I would say to encourage you to kind of overcome these challenges is understand that this is a long-term journey, right? If you keep that mindset you will remind yourself over and over again, 3 months in, 6 months in, a year in, and then you finally arrive to your first milestone. It feels a lot better. So enjoy the small wins. The small wins are, hey, the scale dropped. Maybe it's I'm sleeping a lot better. Maybe a mental clarity. Maybe it's my clothes are fitting better. It is a journey. It is an everyday journey where we're making 80% of the time the best choices we possibly can make. The long-term effects will just get sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. Think about it this way. I always compare everything to spiritual. If you were reading your Bible once a week, yeah, you might get some benefit. But if you're consistently reading the Bible every single day, some days you may only can read for 5 minutes. Some days maybe you sit down and you listen to an audible book, maybe a book of the Bible, and you spend an hour doing it. These are incremental journey steps that will make you and grow you closer to the Lord, right? So these are things that you're disciplining yourself. You're making non-negotiable. Are they hard? No, they're just choices. They're simple choices that you just don't necessarily want to make. You make excuses around them, things along those lines. So just kind of changing that mindset, not going to be perfect, but just getting better and striving for perfection.
Hey, Christian agent, I get it, because I am just like you. You got into this business for more time, money, and freedom, but how is that going? Maybe like me, you found yourself succeeding more often, but missing out on more family dinners. Or maybe you've been wondering this whole time, why are you working your butt off but not making any progress? Or you continue to see the people up on stage who you know lost their marriage, but they sold a lot of houses, so they get celebrated anyways. Well, the truth is, in 2 Corinthians, the Bible tells us to not be unequally yoked. We get so caught up in following the world's way that we forget to follow the Lord's way. And that's why I launched the 210 Collective at EXP, so Christian agents all over the globe could finally be in business together. We could finally be more excellent together, and we could finally be encouraged to set the right priorities and honor God by honoring our families above our work. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level and you want to learn, grow, and connect with other Christian agents, I'd love to talk with you. Head over to 210collective.com/podcast or click the link in the show notes to text me directly and book a call. You're not going to be talking to some member of my team. You'll be talking with me directly, and I promise to shoot you straight. I'd love to talk to you how we can get you plugged into an amazing community of agents who share your values and vision. So click that link in the show notes, text me, set up a time to chat. I would love to connect with you. Until next time, keep building your business with purpose and faith.